Hello, welcome to Astronautics for Exploit. This is Dr. Anyashola Ogundele. The new space age, propellant of the new capabilities, powering seismic technology innovations and world economy. The focus points of my presentation are as follows. The space age, historical perspective of space age, the new space age, and space age influences. For many centuries, before the advent of the space age era, various fictional books and ideas have been proposed about satellite and space stations. The Brick Moon, a novella written in 1869 by Edward Hale, contained a fiction about the first description of the construction and launching of an adversary satellite in form of a sphere into Earth orbit. The author of The Brick Moon also gave the first fictional description of a space station, a spacecraft capable of supporting a human crew in orbit for an extended period of time. Similarly, he highlighted in the book the idea of using 4 satellites above the horizon for navigational purposes, in a way similar to the use of global positioning system today. In 1903, Konstantin Tsiolkovsky described rotating cylindrical space orbiters where planets are fed by the sun. The dawn of the space age was opened by the launch of the world's first adversary satellite, named Sputnik 1 on October 4, 1957. Since then, through space explorations, various advancements have been made on medicine, telecommunications, Earth observation, global navigation, and a host of others. In the new space age era, there is symbiosis relationship between space exploration and fourth industrial revolution. Space exploration advances are creating new technologies and various applications, while technology convergences and science advancements are helping to advance the course of space exploration activities. Advancements in 3D printing, artificial intelligence technology, material science, nanotechnology, and biotechnology has led to the decrease in satellite launch costs and increase in small satellites capabilities. Through these technologies, new space capabilities are being created day by day, and society is benefiting economically at large. The space age. The space age is a period encompassing the activities related to the space race, space exploration, space technology, and the cultural developments influenced by these events, beginning with the launch of Sputnik 1 on October 4, 1957, and continuing to the present time. The space age period is characterized by changes in emphasis on particular areas of space exploration and applications. Inflatable space orbiters made by Bigelow Aerospace is shown in this picture. During the space age, various nations became spacefaring, leading to the formation of various organizations such as NASA, the European Space Agencies, the Japan Aerospace Exploration, Indian Space Research Organization, the China National Space Administration, and a host of others. Illustration of Blue Origin space-based abro habitat is shown in this picture. The new space age is leading to the resurgence of innovations and public interest in space exploration, as well as commercial application of low Earth orbit and more distant destinations. New developments in the new space age include the participation of rich people in crewed space travel, including space tourism. The picture here shows artist rendering of an efficient lunar mining facility. Historical perspective of space age. The space age during this period was an era of new military, political, technological, and scientific developments, which began with the launching of Earth's first artificial satellite, Sputnik 1, on October 4, 1957. In the 1950s to 1976 space age era, there were rapid advances in rocketry, material science, and other areas. The picture here shows artistic concept of a space station. 1956 to 1970 space era. Up to today, the space age continues for the generation of scientific knowledge, the innovation and creation of markets, inspiration, and agreements between the space-faring nations. Other reasons for the continuation of the space age are defending Earth from hazardous objects like asteroids and comets. Illustration of a space settlement is shown in this picture. Prior to the first attempted human spaceflight, various animals were flown into outer space to identify potential detrimental effects of high G-forces in takeoff and landing, microgravity, and radiation exposure at high altitudes. The space race reached its peak with the Apollo program that captured the imagination of much of the world's population. An artist's concept of base infrastructure on Mars is shown in this picture. 1970s to 2010s space age era. During this period, there were a lot of spacecraft launches for communications, Earth observation, research, navigation, and a host of others. Participation in space launches has increasingly widened to include more governments and commercial interest. Since the 1990s, the public perception of space exploration and space-related technologies has been that such endeavors are increasingly commonplace. The picture here shows an illustration of interior of Stanford Torus Observatory. The new space age. Presently, space exploration is no longer an exclusive domain. Private companies are now venturing into space. The space age is propelling various space exploration activities. The world is undergoing a space renaissance, a period when seismic innovations in technology are powering new capabilities, including advances in manufacturing, propulsion, and launch of space systems. Artist's impression of the terraformed Mars is shown in this picture. The new space age is making it possible for the private sector to explore space and conduct more targeted missions. The new space age is also giving rise to startups and encouraging established aerospace companies to pursue innovative projects that were previously deemed too costly or risky. Private funding has also increased, and this signals that the industry is attracting attention from investors. Illustration of an orbital city concept is shown in this picture. In the early 21st century, the Ansari X Prize competition was set up to help jumpstart private spaceflight. The winner, Spaceship One, in 2004, became the first spaceship not funded by a government agency. In this new space era, several countries now have space programs, from related technology ventures to full-fledged space programs with launch facilities. There are many scientific and commercial satellites in use today, with thousands of satellites in orbit, and several countries have plans to send humans into space. An artist's impression of mining operations on Mars is shown in this picture. NASA is currently constructing a deep space crew capsule named the Orion. NASA's goal with this new space capsule is to carry humans to Mars, and NASA is hoping that this mission will usher in a new era of space exploration. In this new space age era, private spaceflight companies such as SpaceX are developing world's most capable operational launch vehicles that can transport humans to the moon, Mars, and beyond. Artist's concept of SpaceX interplanetary transport system is shown in this picture. Elon Musk, the founder and CEO of SpaceX, has put forward the goal of establishing a colony of 1 million people on Mars by the year 2050, and the company is developing a Starship launch vehicle to facilitate this idea. Since the Demo 2 mission for NASA in 2020, in which SpaceX launched astronauts for the first time to the International Space Station, the company has maintained an orbital human spaceflight capability. Artist's rendition of Starship exploring Saturn is shown in this picture. Blue Origin is developing rockets for use in space tourism, commercial satellite launches, and eventual missions to the moon and beyond. Virgin Galactic is another company that is contributing immensely to the evolution of the new space age. The company is concentrating on launch vehicles for space tourism. A spin-off company, Virgin Orbit, here launches small satellites with their Launcher One rocket. Another small satellite launcher, Rocket Lab, has developed the Electron rocket and the Photon satellite bus for sending spacecraft further into the solar system. Artist's illustration of mining activity on the moon is shown in this picture. Space age influences. Space age has influenced a lot of many activities in the art and architecture, automotive design, such as the Virgil Eisner's forward look of 1957 to 1961, Googie architecture, space age fashions by Andrew Kuroges, Pierre Cardin, and a host of others, furniture design of the 1950s and 60s by Eero Zerilin, amusement park attractions such as TWA Moonliner and Mission Space, Co-War playground equipment. Illustration of spacefaring civilization is shown in this picture. Other influences are in musical genre such as space age pop, space music, space rock, and space-themed music. Artist's impression of two O'Neill cylinders anchored together between the moon and Earth is shown in this picture. For more information, contact Astronautics for Exploit. You've been watching and listening to The New Space Age, Propellant of the New Capabilities, Powering Seismic Technology Innovations and World Economy, presented by Dr. Anyashola Ogundele of Astronautics for Exploit. With the focus points, the space age, historical perspective of space age, the new space age, and space age influences. Thank you.